Hey there, today we're gonna look at the teaching knowledge test for young learners. This is a sample test. It is also known as TKT-YL. The time allotted to this test is 1 hour and 20 minutes, and there are 80 questions in this paper. Each question has 1 mark each. Let's take a look at questions 1 through 6, shall we? Okay, in the first set of questions, we're going to look at the teacher's comments and match them with young learner needs and characteristics. So let's go. Number 1, they're often sleepy in the afternoon, so we generally do some group project work where they're measuring or doing something like a science experiment. This is opportunities for physical movement or activity. Number 2, they worry about their spelling, so each week we choose a vowel sound and brainstorm all the words we can think of. Then we look at how they're spelled and categorize them. This is help with underlying language patterns. Number 3, one of the things my pupils like most is to learn a chant and then they try to say it faster and faster but still keep in time. That part's really hard. This is the chance to have fun as a whole class. 4. At the start of the lesson, 2 pupils give out the books and another writes the date on the board. This is routines in the classroom. 5. We often do visualizations. They close their eyes and I ask them questions about a story. Who's in it? Where are they? What happens? Then they draw a picture and write a few sentences about it. This is opportunities to respond to and use language creatively. 6. I've got a bank of worksheets at the back of the room for fast finishers so that they don't get bored waiting for everyone else. This is enough time to complete their work. Now, let's go to the next set of questions. Main cognitive strategies and teacher's instructions. There are 4 main cognitive strategies: categorizing, predicting, ranking, and inferring. Let's look at number 7. Look at the monsters in these pictures. Which one's naughty? How do you know? This is inferring. Number 8. Look at these letters and then try to find the animal word I'm thinking of. Are you ready? First word, D, O. Next word, S, N. Next one, C, A. This is predicting. 9. Cut out the 5 pictures of food. Stick your favorite one here at the top and write your name under it. Then put your next favorite one under it and so on. This is ranking. 10. Listen to these people's voices. Which person sounds happy? This is inferring. 11. On this paper, you've got 2 circles. In this circle, draw 2 things you only wear in the winter, and in the other, draw 2 things you only wear in summer. This is categorizing. 12. On the board, there are pictures of Sue, a shoe, and a zoo. Listen to this word and tell me which picture to write it under. Now listen to these words. This is categorizing. 13. There are pictures of 10 things to take on holiday. In pairs, choose the 5 most important to you. This is ranking. Now let's take a look at the next set of questions. We've got some lesson plan headings such as assumptions, assessment evidence, differentiation, extension activity, interaction patterns, syllabus fit, personal teaching aim, and procedure. And we've got a memory lesson plan with teacher's comments. So there's vocabulary focus, kitchen, knife, fork, spoon, plate, cup, bowl, fruit, vegetables. And the teacher's comments are, good, they're doing healthy eating in science. This is syllabus fit. Let's look at the next one. Before class, copy the vocabulary worksheet of pictures and words and cut them into flashcards. The comments are, one group of children can't read them, so I'll make a set of matching pictures for them. This is differentiation. 16. These are just comments about the same activity or same part of the activity? Great, children could make their own game sets to keep and practice with. This is extension activity. Next one, in class, review the topic of vocabulary and explain the game by example, with yourself as one player and 3 more children. The teacher's comments are important because this game might be new for some children. This is assumptions. Game rules. Mix the cards and put the word cards face down on the table in 4 rows of 2 and the pictures face down on the other side of the table, also in 4 rows of 2. The teacher's comments are, explain that they must pay attention to remember where the words are. The answer is procedure. Let's look at the next one. Ask a child to turn over a card from the picture side and to say the word, and to do the same for a card on the word side. The teacher's comments are, I'll know if they have learned something if they use English rather than L1 for picture cards. This is assessment evidence. Let's take a look at the last one. If the picture and word cards are the same object, the child keeps the 2 cards. If the picture and the word do not match, the child puts the 2 cards face down again. The next child continues in the same way. The game is over when all the pictures and words have been matched. The teacher's comments against the next child continues in the same way are, I must try to listen to all the pairs this time. This is personal teaching aim. Now, let's take a look at the next set of questions. In the next set of questions, we're going to match the teacher's problems with the ways of adapting the materials. Let's look at number 21. There was a text in the course book about pets. I wasn't sure if my learners would know the difference between the hamsters and the guinea pigs and the budgies and canaries. This is adding some visual support. 22. The children were keen to find out more about a new film which came out recently. I found a good review in a newspaper, and although the language was above their level, I knew they would find it all really interesting. This is simplifying the language. 23. The course book had a recipe for something that isn't popular among children in our country. I thought it would be more useful for them to study the language in a recipe for something they like. This is personalizing the content. 24. I got some information about chocolate from a local factory, but I wanted the children to read only about how it is made and not about the history of chocolate making. This is omitting some unnecessary details. 25. The recording from the course book about the festivals was really interesting, but I wanted the children to do something more communicative than just listen and answer the comprehension questions. This is adapting the task. 26. I wanted my class to draw a Venn diagram of the similarities and differences between camels and giraffes. I knew they wouldn't think of enough things to make a very complete diagram. This is giving them some possible answers. 27. The story in the course book was written as one long paragraph in very small print and was hard to read. This is changing the layout. Let's look at number 28. I often use action rhymes with my class because the movements help children to associate words with meanings. 29. I find computer games where children put sentences in the right order to make a story can be useful because children get immediate feedback on their answers. 30. Making origami animals in class is particularly useful for practicing following instructions. 31. Word search puzzles can be a useful way of reviewing a lexical set. 32. When I'm showing a video clip for the first time, I sometimes turn the sound down and ask children to imagine what the characters are saying. 33. I like making a video of my classes acting out little stories because they want to practice until they can do it really well. 34. I find that flashcards are particularly useful for illustrating concrete vocabulary items. Let's look at the next set of questions. Here we've got some strategies for scaffolding children's understanding in language. And we've got the teacher classroom language used for these strategies. Now let's look at number 35. What does animal mean? Cats and horses are animals. This is giving an example. 36. The child says, "This Martin's pen." The teacher says, "Okay, well, you can give it back to him, please." This is ignoring error. 37. The child says, "Last Saturday, my auntie take me to the cinema." The teacher says, "Take." This is echo-correcting. 38. Child says, "Sorry, I don't understand." And the teacher says, "Put your chair like this, then you can't see Sam's picture." This is demonstrating. 39. The child says, "This dinosaur is more big." The teacher says, "Okay, this dinosaur's bigger." This is reformulating. The next one, the child says, "What's an insect?" The teacher says, "It's an animal with 6 legs." This is defining. 41. The child says, "I can't remember the name of the color." The teacher says, the child says, "Purple." This is prompting. In the next set of questions, we're going to look at scaffolding strategies for challenging fast finishers and what fast finishers do. The scaffolding strategies are: children check their own work, children help other children who have not finished yet, and children do an extension activity. Now let's take a look at the questions. 42. Write the name of 5 objects which are usually red. The answer is children do an extension activity. 43. Compare their answers to a comprehension task about a story with the answer key at the back of their course book. This is children check their own work. 44. Explain in L1 how to do a sequencing task to a group having problems doing the task. This is children help other children who have not finished yet. 45. Draw a picture to illustrate the chant they have written. This is children do an extension activity. 46. Proofread their short description of a typical day in their life before they give it to the teacher. This is children check their own work. 47. Choose a graded reader from a reading box the teacher keeps in the classroom. This is children do an extension activity. 48. Answer another child's questions about the meaning of some words in a survey the class are preparing. This is children help other children who have not finished yet. In the next set of questions, we're going to look at the types of practice activity and match it with descriptions of activities. Let's look at number 49. Children close their eyes while the teacher removes one of the story sentences from the board. They open their eyes, then say which one is missing. This is memory activity. 50. The teacher says the sentence, "I gave her a banana," then shows pictures of, example, a little girl, a man, a mother, a father, a cat. Children have to say the sentence with the correct pronoun for each. This is a drill. 51. After reading the story, the teacher chooses different children to act it out. This is role play. 52. The teacher tells the children they're going to travel in a spaceship to another planet. In groups, they make a list of things they want to take with them. This is brainstorming. 53. Each child has a different version of a picture from their partner. Without looking at each other's picture, they take turns to describe what they see in order to find 5 differences. This is information gap. 54. The teacher asks the children a series of questions about an imaginary day out, such as, where are you going? Who's with you? What's the weather like? Children sit quietly with their eyes closed, thinking about the answers. This is visualization. Now, let's take a look at the next set of questions. Brainstorming vocabulary before a task makes use of children's own experience and memories of the topic. 56. Role play can provide children with the opportunity to consolidate language chunks. 57. Settling activities aim to calm and focus children after a period of activity. 58. Visualization activities involve children in closing their eyes and listening to the teacher. 59. Total physical response activities involve mainly children's listening skills. 60. Problem-solving activities consolidate children's language learning by activating their cognitive skills. Now, let's take a look at the next set of questions. Areas of managing a class. So we're going to match areas of managing a class such as getting children's attention, checking understanding, correcting language, and establishing routines to develop responsible behavior with teachers' comments. Now let's take a look at question number 61. Very good try, Marta, but remember to change the order of the words to make a question. This is correcting language. 62. Okay, thank you everyone. Are you ready to move on to the next task now? This is getting children's attention. 63. Where should I put usually on the list? Is it nearer to always or to never? This is checking understanding. 64. Yes, I can hear a lot of people who do not know the right answer, but if I don't see any hands up, I don't know who to ask. This is establishing routines to develop responsible behavior. 65. 5 seconds to finish. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Now let's watch the next part. This is getting children's attention. 66. It's a lovely sunny day. So tell me which of these clothes I don't need to wear. Shorts, gloves, a scarf, a t-shirt. This is checking understanding. 67. No, he said 15 chocolates, not 50. This is correcting language. We can do that with more emphasis. No, he said 15 chocolates, not 50. Okay, now let's take a look at the next set of questions. 68. To assess their cognitive skills, the teacher would not ask the children to answer true or false questions about their favorite types of food. 69. To assess their ability to use language creatively, the teacher would not ask the children to listen to and perform a jazz chant in pairs. 70. To assess their listening comprehension skills, the teacher would not ask the children to listen and follow a text with the words of a song. 71. To assess their spelling, the teacher would not ask the children to look at the pictures and use the words in a substitution drill. 72. To assess their ability to review their learning, the teacher would not ask the children to think about the lesson and to say which activities they liked. 73. To assess their ability to remember language, the teacher would not ask the children to listen to a song about different clothes. Now, let's take a look at the next set of questions. This is the last set of questions. In this activity, we're going to look at the main focus of feedback and compare it with examples of teacher feedback. The main focus of feedback is given as 3 options. So we have 3 different options here. children's use of learning strategies, children's use of language, and children's behavior. Now let's take a look at the different questions. 74. Okay, is it he or she for your sister? This is children's use of language. 75. This group, you gave everyone a chance to speak. Well done. This is children's behavior. 76. That's interesting. Why did you answer the easier story questions first and the harder ones last? This is children's use of learning strategies. 77. It was a really good idea to plan your poster before you started to draw it. This is children's use of learning strategies. 78. That's right, it's a house. This is children's use of language. 79. Thanks for tidying up the desk so quickly. This is children's behavior. And the last one, 80. Yes, sure. It's fine to use the picture dictionary to find words. This is children's use of learning strategies. Now, those are the answers to all the questions in this sample paper. Thank you. Bye.